trying to choose who's going to replace you. Right? So now you start thinking about it, you have to make sure that you choose the right person for the job.
It could be any of your male children, one, two, a queen, and yeah, that's a big decision. That's a big decision. And I will say that when, and you do know this, but I'm not going to try to indulge myself with this, but when your father sent you to St. John's University, he called me aside and he told me that you were there. That was never shared at St. John's University, but I knew the entire time you were here. So I would always get really nervous because you would be doing something. Your father said to me the moment that he said, if I pass away, you need to bring my son home.
I thought you were close there.
Because sometimes I was like, look, no rock climbing, no bungee jumping, wear shin guards, we play soccer, I know.
But you were very nice with me. Because I mean, like, oh, come here every day and let me see what you have done. But you still did it, but letting me try things, and you will come to the dorm, and I now understand why you will come to the dorm. let me see your room.
That's right. Chapman, 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes. Fingers there. You had a lot of good hands. You did an amazing job. So, and the last question, and then maybe we do have a little bit of time for some audience questions, was why St. John's? You touched on it a little bit before, but why, of all the universities, why did you choose St. John's University?
Why I choose St. John's?
Yes.
Because you helped me choose St. John's. And I think that I will never regret the fact that I was in St. John's. It's a great journey for me being at St. John's. It's different experience. So those who are here fighting and doing the best every day to make St. John's a good experience, yes, you have done it for someone like me. I was one of those students at St. John's who basically knows everything about St. John's. Because I would spend my entire life here. I would be the last person to leave when people would go for breaks, because my family was far abroad. So I had to wait until everybody leaves. Sometimes I would be the first to come on campus. By the way, I know some on the way at St. John's that maybe so many people don't know. And I would just spend the whole life here. And it is like a second home for me.
So do we, Angela, I think we can take questions from those.
Yeah, about a few minutes.
Why don't, yeah, if you have a question, raise your hand.
Thank you. In the Christian scriptures, one of the scriptures that's present is, it is not good for the man to be alone. Obviously, there's protocol in the way your mother and your father's wife and your own wife are seated next to you. What do you look for from the women in your life?
From the women?
So you chose a bride. What do you look for from your bride?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, when you are looking, you have to try to look for someone with whom, you understand each other. That's the first thing. You're able to communicate with, and sometimes someone who fits with some of the value that you're looking for. And for me, one of the value will probably definitely be the faith in God, because I do have faith in God, and I'm scared of being with someone who doesn't have the same faith. So that's probably one thing. Because he assured me of the way I could do the relationship with you.
What was your Osnam research on? And while I have you here, what soccer position did you play?
And so it's a little actually hard to hear. So
What was your Osnam research on? And while I have you here, what was your soccer position?
Soccer position. I will almost play every position except the goalkeeper. I like to play forward, yes. Yes?
And then the first question was, is what was your Osnam research?
The Osnam research was about how to help in the girls' empowerment in the way that they can be able to learn how to make things on their own and that was, we thought about teaching the young girls and how to do something that they could sell, and teaching them how to make like little stuff like jewelry and stuff like that, so that they can be able to be self-sufficient, maybe in the case of Africa where they could sell it and have something to pay for, not always waiting for someone to come and give.
She's not looking.
Hi, how does life in New York differ from life in Cameroon?
When you survive in New York, you can survive everywhere. So it's different, of course. It's different. New York, the chance that you have when you live in New York is that you're able to see people coming from everywhere in the world, and it's a benefit. You're able to, you have to seize the occasion, and you have to be able to use that to grow. The fact that you can meet people from everywhere, you can learn easy.
Could you walk us through like a typical day-to-day of what a king does in your village?
So I have every week, I have Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. Those are the open day. So I will come out and sit in front of the palace and receive people for audience. So it can be anybody. So it doesn't depend on whether he's wealthy or not. So I will just sit and I will listen to where they come from. It could be any type of problem that you can imagine, from someone who doesn't have money to go to the hospital, to someone who need land, someone who have family problems, and all of that. Anything you can imagine. So that's what I do. And I have the traditional court that I lead. So in the Cameroon Justice, they have traditional court, and before having the first degree court and all of the rest. So the traditional court is led by traditional leaders. So that's what I do. People will come with different type of complaints about marriage, about land, family problems, and all of that. So I will set a schedule for that. I'll go and sit, I will listen to them, I will give decisions. Also, I will be there for my family too, trying to see my kids, my wife, and all of that. And I will also try to be there for the museum. We have a new museum, and I almost spend most of the time there to see how they manage to keep the objects and all of the things. So that's basically what I travel sometimes. When I have to go to Yaoundé for administrative work, I also help the community deal with administrative papers sometimes. So I have to travel, meet some people, so that's basically what I do. It's easy, huh?
How have the lessons that you've learned from being a father, fatherhood, impacted how you rule your people?
How has fatherhood affected you as being a king?
Being a father? Yeah, it's just a lot of more caring and being a lot more responsible in the decision that you make. When you're alone, you can just wake up in the morning and say, oh, I want to go. You don't really measure your decision because you can only be the one to feel the impact. But having the family, having people that you're looking